Okay, today we're going to make a wool felt ornament with a dark brown wool felt and an oatmeal cream wool felt. There's just one piece for the back and one piece for the front. The first thing we're going to do is position and sew the heart button on the front with red pearl cotton. If you don't want to use red pearl cotton, you can use embroidery floss, usually 2 strands of that. We're going to sew the heart. You can use this as well. Sew the heart right here. Yes. I have a thread, and I am using pearl cotton. I have a wooden heart bead. Ready to line him up straight. If you use the red, it just looks better to continue with the red of the heart. I'm going to take 2 stitches. And it still seems to be a little sideways, so I'm going to fix that. So turning him this way and stitching over that way just a little bit. That straighten him up. Okay. Here's my heart. I'm just going to knot it back here. Okay. Our next step is to layer the face pieces and pin them. The face pieces, here's somewhere right in the back. Okay. The first piece of the face is a heart. We're going to put him upside down. The only thing you need to do when you position the face is make sure you stay far enough away from the edge that you have room to do this without running into the face. Okay, so after we put this here, the second piece of the face is just kind of like his little cheeks, and they go on top of the heart. Like that. So we're not going to glue them on because that causes issues with stitching. What we're going to do is, the first thing I'm going to do is put the bead for the nose on. And to sew that on, I'm using a hand quilting, really strong, just regular size thread, because another size thread you might have a problem getting through the bead. And I'm going to pin him on before I try to stitch him because it'll be a little bit easier. So the nose is at the intersection of the heart. Some up here. And the nose is a pink bead. And I want him turned over on his side. Yeah, like that. So I'm going to stitch that a couple more times. So pin out now. Number 5. Probably 3 times will be good. Okay, and I'm going to leave this needle threaded here. Because these stitches on these beads are the only thing that's holding the face besides the whiskers. We're gonna really stitch them down nicely. Okay, we're leaving the thread on there. We're just gonna move up a little bit where his eyes would be. And he has kind of golden eyes. Let's see if we can get the needle in there. Okay. I'm going to take him over this way. I'm kind of in the middle of the face. And I'm going to go ahead and space the other eye over here to make sure I have them where I want them before I stitch them down several times. And that's with the nose, we want them to be on this side. Okay, so I'm kind of happy with where they are. I'm going to go ahead and stitch them down a couple more times. Using the register. Let me stitch him right here. Beading needles are so flexible, they're hard to, you have to be too small to go through the eye of the bead. Okay. That looks good. I'm gonna put one or two more stitches over here, but I'm happy with where they are. Oops. That's what around this way. Okay. These guys look good. I'm gonna knot it on the back. I'm gonna knot it on the back twice. The next thing we do is to sew the whiskers. You're going to take metallic floss. This is DMC and it's E5200. It comes in 6 strands, and 6 strands is quite a few whiskers. So I took it down to 5. So I have 5 strands in my needle. We are not going to knot this because both ends are free. I'm going to go in beside my nose. Maybe just a little farther out. Okay. I'm going to come up in the back. And I'm going to leave a lot of whiskers here. I'm going to leave a lot of whiskers here. I'm going to tie a knot in the back of my floss. Yeah, I'm going to feed that down really kind of close to the okay. So now I have 3 whiskers on the front and I have a knot in the back. This knot's going to prevent our whiskers from going anywhere. Now we're going to come back up in the front where the whiskers are on the other side. Hopefully nice and even, straight. Yes, that's it. Over just a little bit. Yeah, there. Okay, and then I'm going to pull this through. You see we have a knot on the back. We have whiskers on the front. Right now, I'm just going to trim one side the same length as the other side because we can decide later how long we want it to be. Okay. Now I have, with 5, there's 5 whiskers on this side and 5 on that side. Okay. I also got the E898, which is dark brown whiskers, but I have not tried that. I thought those might be cute also. So, like I said, we'll trim those later. The next thing we do is place our ribbon for hanging between back and the front. We're just going to get in here. We just need to make sure that it gets stitched in the top because we're not going to stitch it. till we do around the outside. Okay. The next thing we do is layer our front on our back. And for this, we're going to use round, I think it's 898. Let's see. And it's just regular embroidery cloth, it's not metallic. It's 838. And we're going to use 2 or 3 strands, depending on what you want to do. We are going to stitch around, and I started at the tail, so when I go around, I can get to this point right here, and I'm going to lightly stuff him. So it's easier to stuff when you don't have the different stitches you have to make here. So I'm gonna start that. I'm gonna hide my knot inside between the 2 layers of wool felt. Let's detangle everything. Okay. It's important that if you feel comfortable, and I do feel comfortable, that you can stay away from your pins. We're going to pin these, so you don't have to constantly keep monitoring where you are, how it's off or anything. And as you get close to these pins and your floss gets tangled in them, you can just move the pin. And I don't really feel comfortable without it pinned. Okay, we're doing a buttonhole stitch, which is down and through the loop that your thread makes. It's best if you pull that straight. You're going to go down and pull that straight. Now when you get to the part that doesn't get wrapped, we go down, and I'm holding the loop with my hand. I'm coming back up at the edge of my body. I'm going through that loop. And that puts the stitch on top. I'm going to do the same thing here. Got a whisker cut along with the tail. Yeah. I thought it would wrap around the pins, but it's wrapping around the whiskers. And now the ears. Okay, you will do the ears the same way we did the tail by just completing your loop once you brought the thread back up and without anything to do that around. Just about to leave this pin here. Going to do a neater job than I'm doing. Now we go around. Let me move this pin. Can't hit anymore. I don't think he's going anywhere. I've got about one more stitch here I can do this way before I have to stitch around the ears. And I don't want to take that pin out at the top because it is holding my hanger ribbon in. We're going to do that again. Going through here. Ah, just came unthreaded. Okay, let me go get a sample, an example of that. Have the example of how he looks when he's finished. And you'll notice that I caught the ribbon up here with my stitches. This one's eyes are a little bit farther up than this one's. I think his nose is a different color too. But you can stuff him less. This guy is pretty fluffy. But you can stuff him less. I want to rethread my needle here. Got to come up this way and through that loop. Making buttonhole stitches without being able to wrap the fabric takes a little bit longer. Just apparently I need longer piece of glass. Okay, I'm gonna put it way down this way this time. Now I have to come back up here and my loop is over here. Gotta grab it here. I'm gonna go ahead and unpin that and move him this way just a little bit because he's getting another. Okay. The next stitch I take will be able to be wrapped around and I will catch my ribbon. So it will be. I'm gonna go here. Come up between the ribbon and take my loop here. And the next one is just going to be free and then to the ribbon here. We'll take this pin out. Okay. This one. Just about all the flaws. Okay. So you're going to do neater stitches than I did here. You're going to do neat stitches like this. We're going to finish. We're going to come on around here. We're going to stop about here. We are going to take poly silk, and it really will not take much. We're going to stuff him, leave about an inch maybe open. You're going to stuff him in there neatly, and he will stay away from the edges because that's where you stitched. Then we're going to, you can use something, anything as a stiletto. You can use a chopstick, shish kebab stick, anything, and just move your polyfill around. And like I said, this guy is just almost too fat, because if he gets too fat, he looks like his stitches around the edges are stretched. So he looks better with just a little bit of dimension. And then you can trim your whiskers. I really did not trim his whiskers very much. I just separated him. But if you want them shorter, you can do that. That sounds just about like me, right? Yeah. This does far we can go down for me to hit pause because you're just going to shut it. Yeah. I'm going to pause it. Okay. Gotcha. She had to get the keyboard out for passwords. Does it just